All right, we're back for the afternoon session. Welcome, everyone. Queen, Vivian, JR, Sniper, TJ. Hey, TJ, what's going on? Gospel Trader, Shalur, Doris, Dorcas. Welcome, everyone. All right, so we finally swept those lows that we were looking at over lunch. This 5-minute breaker did not hold. Let's see, when did it fail? Okay, fell right at 12:50, right when the macro started. So we'll go ahead and delete that. However, it did provide one entry here at 9:30, and it provided a second entry at 10. So it was a good breaker to those who took it earlier. Yeah, that was a bullish breaker from 5 minute that failed during lunch. It was the one that formed, I guess, 8:30 this morning or somewhere around there. Cool. All right, let's see what the dollar is after the lunch hour. Okay, so the lunch hour was good to the dollar. Sure. Right, so we did not get I said if we got a close above 103,609, then price would likely continue higher. So we did not get a close above 103.609. However, we got really close. So this next candle that we're in right now could easily close above 609 if it's able to trade above six. The last hour traded to the high of 624, so it was above 609, but it didn't close. So we'll take a look this hour as well and see where it closes when we get around 2 o'clock here. Okay, so we've had a pullback on all indices for the last 2 hours, the 11 and 12 o'clock hour for S&P and Nasdaq, and only the 12 o'clock hour for Dow. Let me just go ahead and measure how far we've retraced so far. Okay, not even 30% yet, or definitely not 40. Okay, I'll leave that up and let's move over to the next one. All right, so it did hit the 38% on this current wick, this current candle, but still not an equilibrium retracement yet. So we'll continue to monitor this one. It's in a bullish fair value gap right now, but to get to equilibrium, we're going to need it to trade below. So we should not expect for this fair value gap to hold. On S&P, however, it can reach equilibrium and the fair value gap can still hold. So we'll see how that works. And same down here. Let me go ahead and measure the Dow. Okay, yeah, not quite at 40% yet. They can make it to equilibrium and below. Fair value gap is below the 61%, so that would be optimal trade entry. Okay, let's measure this retracement leg as well. 50% is at 52 flat, 5,200. And that's for the S&P. And now when we look at NASDAQ is going to be 18,164. Okay. Enough, 18,164 is also right around the mid consequent encroachment of this breaker right here. 5-minute breaker from about 4 o'clock this morning. Hey, Shark, what's going on? Day's going well. Day's going well. I had a small loss this morning, so we'll look and see if we can avenge that this afternoon. Yeah, let's see how price reacts at the 8:30. Right, it broke through the 8:30 right after, just before the opening bell. We saw it trade back almost to it here before springing higher. We saw it trade to it at 11:30. It pushed off. We saw it trade back just before 12. It pushed off, and then it held for a bit, and then it fell. So let's look now and see if price pushes lower once it gets to the 8:30. Right now we have the immediate rebalance on the hourly frame. Okay, here we are. Moment of truth. Let's see what happens. You're looking at a breaker for here. All right, so you want the consequent encroachment of this 5-minute candle here. Um, I have no, yeah, nothing. Nvidia speaking, it's yeah, I don't know. I never pay attention to the individual companies within an indice and what their news they're releasing or any of those things. Um, so I don't really have an opinion. I mean, it depends on what time it happens. They may use that as a reason to spike the market since there wasn't any high impact news today. So it'll be pretty easy to put that in or to factor that into the price action. But as far as me looking for a trade setup or not, based on the news from Nvidia, yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't even know that the news is. I didn't even know the news was happening. I found out from you guys at One Pacific. Okay, so yeah, so it's very similar to when earnings are announced at like 4:15 or 4:30 after the normal trading day is closed. So that's going to be one of those where price just takes off at 4 o'clock, and hopefully you're on the right side if you're in a position. But with prop firms, you have to be out of your position by 4:10. So you have about 10 minutes to close your trade if you're in a position at that time. That should make for fun after hours trading though. So the Asia session might be a little more alive than normal. Since we saw Nvidia when they announced their profits or whatever the last week in February, and we saw a huge spike in price after hours. It's probably worth it during the power hour today, right around 3 or as we get to 3:30. Start looking for certain key levels that maybe it looks like price wants to go to, but for whatever reason, it's just not trading in that direction, or it keeps stopping shy of hitting a particular target. Then you'll look for the news announcement to rush to that target. That's how I would play that if I was looking to trade news. All right, so far it doesn't look like the 830 is going to hold price lower. It's already traded and closed above. Now we got to retest off of it, and it's pushing. We still have 2.5 minutes on this candle, however. And so what we want to do now is to pay attention to these swing highs. This one, and then we have the equal ones just above. And then we have another one. Okay. Guess I spoke too soon. You're right, TJ. 290 rejection there. Yep, it was this sort of fake move up. It was ran right into half of it, right into this fake move. After price closed below the swing lows, both of these, and it came right back up, hit that level, kept the bodies below, and now it's rejecting off. Okay, if that was 75% of the bearish leg down, which I'm assuming you're talking about this, then that tells me this manipulation leg here, it delivered a standard deviation of 1. So this was equal size, and then you put another one equal size below it. It traded back up. Half of it was the one equal size below, and then it traded into half of the upper half, which was a quarter. So, yep. Sorry, I just confused you with my explanation, but in my head, it makes sense. That would be if I took the, whoops, sorry, I need the Fibonacci. There we go. So here's the one standard deviation right here at 244. It went just below that. Okay, so we did get a rejection off the 830. Now we're looking at this dash line to see if we get a sweep below, which is also consequent encroachment of this 1 hour BISI here. That didn't make it at all. Let's see if now it's going to flip, and that's going to end up being a SIBI, a bearish fair value gap there. Let's see if we also push towards these lows. Hey, good job, Jay. Two-minute order block. Okay. Mm-hmm. All righty. All right. All right. We're now trading inside the range. You can see the high and the low that is trading inside of. Yeah, Jay, I think just before the last session ended, she mentioned going to Ash Trades. So I don't know if you've already done that. It's another YouTuber named Ash Trades, and he has plenty of videos on the breaker. More importantly, he highlights the unicorn setup, which is the breaker with the fair value gap inside. So he's the one that we've all been following as far as the unicorn setup. So that's probably a good resource for you. There you go. There's your link, Jay. Takes you right to the playlist. Mm. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Just want to make sure you guys get the resources you're looking for so it's easier for you to follow along. And you'll start noticing these setups on your own, which really is the whole point in coming to the sessions every day is to be able to identify them when you're sitting down by yourself. Yeah, Queen. Also, I saw he has. It looks like he has another video that's bookmarked for tomorrow. It's going to be released tomorrow, and it's specifically about the 5 minute unicorn model. So that might definitely be one that you want to check out if you go and look at his videos today. And his playlist is short. You can watch the entire playlist in um, under 40 minutes. There's a couple videos that might be like 10 or 12 minutes, and there's a couple more videos within the playlist that are only 2 or 3 minutes long. So you should be able to watch the entire playlist and from a I guess just a general understanding, know exactly what he's looking for and how he executes. And then, as Queen mentioned, definitely go into his live streams and then get the more intricate details of exactly how it works. Because generally, the videos that just show you the model are usually on easier examples, and so you wanna also be able to decipher between uh, one that's like 80% there but not quite. You want to hear him talk you through that part. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, I just noticed it because I went to his site to pull this link for everyone else. Okay. Get to 322. Mm, yeah, well, yeah, there's a chance because as I mentioned, price is trapped between 302 and 235. So price is sitting here trapped right now. Um, And the fact that we're inside of an hour fair value gap and we bounced off of consequent encroachment, if we don't lose that level, there's absolutely a chance that we can get up to 322. If you're currently in a long and you want to see if we can get there, or you want me to tell you if I think a current long will make it there, let me see. All right, so we're in a discount of this price range where we would expect for there to be bullish action, which we got from this candle. So let's see if we can hold this level at 245. Right, let's see if we can hold 240. If we can hold 245, then potentially we can push back up to test the breaker. But it's going to be hard if you're expecting the breaker to fail. When we got two bounces off of consequent encroachment and price dropped below. So we may just get back and forth action here. And in that case, you may not get back up to 322, which is up in this area in the top quadrant of the breaker. But first things first, we need to hold 245. And if we hold 245, then we have a shot. Okay, we're now inside of the macro period. So glad you asked, because if it was going to happen, now would be the time for that to happen. So let's see. But this price leg right here, we did have it pass external range. So now we're pulling back into internal range. So yeah, this price leg we're currently on is going to give us a lot of information. Hey, good to see it's no longer in discount. Okay, right at the 8:30 open, we also have consequent encroachment of this turtle soup. All right, let's see if price finds support here. Somewhere along the lower edge, somewhere around here. $1,200 ticks. 300 point. What? Wow. Okay. Okay, so it did find support there, which is good. Good to see. See if it continues to push, and let's see how it reacts to the 830 area. So we closed above this swing high right here. Okay, so it almost came down to 50% of that leg, almost. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really trust a lot of the like opening ranges on the new week. A lot of times I see that it'll come back and it'll close in the gap that was created, and then it'll go the opposite direction and things. So I'm not really good at doing that myself either. So I usually just let the opening range just do whatever and check it on Monday morning. But man, yeah, it's not often that price opens on Sunday and then just runs all the way until what's this? Till 10 o'clock the next morning. It does. It always does. Thing is, I think price will give you that big move, and then the next couple weeks you come in looking for it to do something similar, and it makes sure it destroys your confidence. So the next time this happens, you're not available. Silver bullet hour, yeah. Yep, it is now almost 20 now 205 almost. So we got another 5 minutes before macro period's over. Again, we want to see how does price react here at the 830 open. 830 open is also consequent encroachment of this box, which is the measurement of this last price leg before the reversal and it started trading down. Yes, sir, sniper. Yeah, exactly. That's what's scaring me is that the dollar is still bullish, and NQ and S&P have both made it down to their fair value gaps on the 1 hour. where it looks like it might be willing to be bullish again. But we're still waiting on Dow to get down there. Yeah, this is what you get on days without news. The market gets a chance to do what it wants, and it also allows the indices to kind of reacquaint themselves and get ready, get set up for the rest of the week. So I'm not surprised that they're not exactly in sync right now, and we'll just keep trading NQ as we see it. All right, so we got a rejection out of here so far on this candle. See if we can hold this position at 266. We got a bounce off of 271. All right, let's see if that works. See if it takes out these swing high there at 280. So it did take out 280, but it didn't close above. It just swept the high. Right, I'm going to remove this. Get one more minute in the macro. Right now we're at the 8:30 open. Now we can see what the reaction is to it. Sherbert. No, I'm not, I don't look for the silver bullet per se. So no. No, I do prefer taking setups during the macro period. So that's the last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of the following hour. I prefer setups that present themselves during that time period. Okay, we have equal highs. Let's see if those get swept or if we get a failure here and back down to lows. Yeah, well, we had on this 5 minute, we had several areas swept. We had 263 from 850 this morning swept. We had 260, yep, 269 from 930 swept. 270 from noon, as well as at 12:30, 273. Yeah, you're right for the third time. Yeah, I got the first one here, then the second one here down, which was it was a short one, but still that was a winning trade. And then here we go, the third time. Third time. Let's see if it pushes price lower. We do have a closure below the 830 open, just after closing above. Fifty points. Well, yeah, if with 10 micros, yes, that's 1,000 or one mini. Yep. Two minis. Yeah, you're right about that. Two minis would, yeah, I'd have a big smile on my face with that. Two minis for 200 ticks. Yeah. Okay. So are you gonna do half at 100 and then or at 200 and leave one or two on? Okay, so on the 3 minute so far, no fair value gaps. The 2 minute, okay, there was one right here. Right, so if you entered here, 20 points. Okay, so it'll be these equal highs. Okay. Just looking for what a potential silver bullet would have been this hour. Looks like the silver bullet would have been this fair value gap here. And to get 20 points out of this, you're going to need to target these equal highs. Need to get to 306, and this is at 311, so something just short. Maybe this cluster right here. Twenty micros, okay. So, okay, so you want a breaker with clearly defined target of at least 50 points or 200 ticks. Okay. All right, let's see what we get as far as this little retracement that's coming. The breaker holding price, so maybe the breaker's going to win. And if the breaker wins, then you're going to have to find a bearish fair value gap to send price down and look for targets down, maybe close to the equal lows. Maybe even these relative equal lows here, right around 265. All right, there we go. All right, thank you. I want to thank everyone for liking the video so far. If you are enjoying the content and you just haven't hit the button, if you could take this moment to do so, that would be very, very much appreciated. Got a good sale this morning with the 2022. Okay. All right, Marcel, good job. Celebrate that win. Don't trade until you're done celebrating, but make sure that emotionally you settle down a bit before you get back into the market. But congratulations. All right, equal highs here. Looks like price wants to run into that. So that's $282. You're looking for 20 points. You're looking at, depending on whether you got in at 282 or 285. Yeah, it's either going to be this swing high with this the array here or the swing high just above. Jensen, how's it going, Jensen? Welcome. Right, there's your silver bullet delivery right there for anyone who saw that as the silver bullet entry. I think that came off the 2 minute. And it did. Yep, right on the 2 minute. The price dipped through it, trade through it a little bit, but it came back above, traded back, put the bodies on consequent encroachment, and then traded to target. Finally using the 830 open as sort of a springboard. Here you go on the 3 minute right here. Go to the 5 minute, see where it is. Okay, roughly the same position, especially if we don't take the wick, or if we just take the up wick. Okay, reaching back to 50% of the bearish breaker, which is the larger blue box. Then we have a bullish breaker, which is the smaller one in just this little region that's darker. So this is going to be interesting position right here. Yep, let's see if we trade from this consequent encroachment down to this consequent encroachment. So 292. That'd be about 20 points from 312 down to 292. Oh yeah, I can imagine TJ. Look, the Asia session looked like it was good for everyone. Anyone who traded the Asia session. Two 92. That's it. Let's see what the reaction is once it gets down there. It is. We're following price now. Let's just be aware that it's just past 2:30, and sometimes the half past the hour can be a pivot point. Hmm. Hey, next, what's your strategy that you use? Take out this high. See if we reach up to 312 and price can push through that. Okay. Good to see price traded into a fair value gap here. Not only into it, but out of it. I was hoping it would get a little lower and hit 292 because I wanted to see what the reaction was going to be from that level. But it looks like it went to consequent encroachment of the fair value gap at 296. All right, let's see if we get a push out of 303. Pretty much the open of this candle. Right here we are at 292. See if we get a pullback. We still got 4 minutes to go, so this is going to be a long candle here, but things are not looking great, at least on the lower time frame, not at all. Mhm. Okay, so now I see how it reacted at 292. It did not hold at all. Still want to wait and see how it closes out. We might get a pullback and close it back inside the zone there. Let's take a look at this retracement leg and see if that's where it's going. All right back down to the 1 hour busy. uh, 235 and a quarter. Yeah, it was one. It looked like it was one tick short here, just one tick. I have 235 flat, and the candle's low is 235 and a quarter. Okay. No, it's just basically we lost there. So there was a 1 hour breaker, a bearish breaker, and then we had a 5 minute bullish breaker just below. So only one could win, and the 1 hour proved to be stronger. Actually, now I take that back. I think this one's also on the 5. Let's see if it's higher. Okay, so it's not on the hour. My mistake. It's also on the 5-minute. No, yeah, my mistake, Queen. This is also on the 5-minute. This bearish one that's above us, that was also a 5-minute. It was. I just made a mistake and thought it was 1 hour because of the size, but actually it's just two very large candles on the 5-minute. No, we tapped mean threshold at 312. Mm. Yep. Yeah, it probably failed because we're still in this range, right? We still haven't traded out of this range that we were in when we started the afternoon. And down here to this purple line at 235, and this was the high at 314. We still haven't traded out of that. We traded up, failed, traded down, failed, traded higher, still failed, and now we're trading back down. So we're just ranging. Uh, yeah, I grabbed both candles for my breaker instead of just the bottom one or the top one. I don't know which one you would use. I just grabbed them both. Back at traded to the tick to the main threshold at 230. All right, TJ, take care, man. Okay, not quite 50% retracement, almost. See this, I'll just delete it. All right, we have power hour coming in about 7 minutes. Sniper, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, let's see if we get some sort of short out of here. Okay. Okay, so we wanted to push for higher prices here. So we swept the low and then we swept the high. It looks like we're getting a 3 drives pattern here. Here, 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 here. At some point, we're going to break down. little tight knit macro here. No real price action happening. Just back and forth, staying within a little 20-point range. It looks like maybe a little less, maybe 15-point range. All right, Sniper. Enjoy. We'll catch you tomorrow. Price to sweep this trend line here. Well, we're bearish currently. Even down to the 5 minute, we're looking at bearish price action. And we're kind of also in the middle of a price leg, so we're right at equilibrium. So it's, yeah, I would refrain from any type of trading in the very near future. Like in this kind of price range, I'd wait for it to break out before looking for anything, whether it's bullish or bearish. I would wait for it to get out of. If I'm bullish, I need it to get above 310, 312, something like that. Right. I needed to sweep these highs right here and take out this black line above at 314. If I'm bearish, then what I want to see it do is to trade up here and then see a failure. So at least you're in the premium area of the price range if you're going to look for shorts. And even if it gets up here and fails and you look short, you still want to have some sort of exit strategy down here, not knowing exactly what this is going to be. Otherwise, you wait. You wait for this to be taken. Out. This one's still in play. Let's see how it works out. This is the last minute of the macro here. No, FOMC is Wednesday. Wednesday, Miss Healthy. At least if I remember correctly. Yep, federal funds rate Wednesday, March 20th at 2 p.m. All right. Well, make sure you give him a good word and tell him that he should probably mention that he's going to lower interest rates sometime this year. And if he does, the markets will thank him for that. Well, make sure you come back and let us know beforehand that he's going to do it. All right. Are we going for new highs, or is this a rejection going for this recent low? Oh, okay. Hey, this 1 minute fair value gap still holding up even after the macro is over. Molly, they're inside of the Discord. So you have to first log into the Discord. And you find the Discord. If you go into my description, you'll see a link that'll say like social media, Discord, something like that. You click on it. It'll give you an invitation. You click into the Discord, and then there should be, you'll find, pull it up. I think it's called like ICT resources or something. Yep, ICT resources. here on the 5 minute. Let's just mark this in just to see how price reacts there. Somebody did mention there's an NVIDIA announcement sometime this afternoon. Like the CEO is going to speak, and I don't know, something's going to come out of that. So it may be that price is sort of doing its thing right now, waiting till we get to the end of the hour, and then at 4 o'clock, it's just going to run to a certain place. So that's why I mentioned earlier. I believe someone asked me, and I said just pay attention during 3 o'clock hour for any type of low hanging fruit as far as PD arrays that price may want to trade to. And if it looks like it's struggling to get there, but you can definitely see that price action shows it wants to go, it may wait till 4 o'clock. And then all of a sudden you see within 2 or 3 candles, it gets exactly where it needs to go. So just keep that in mind as we see price trading sideways, that it may be waiting for that announcement that's coming at 4 o'clock or whatever time it's going to come. Yes, Jonathan Solar. I am here every day. So since you've already subscribed, you should be getting the announcements, or you'll get invitations in the morning and reminders once we go live. Which session? So we do New York AM and PM. Jay, no, I draw them. All the blue boxes are drawn by me. The only ones that are automatic are fair value gaps on the 1 hour, and that's coming from this one here. So FVG by Nephew Sam. That's the indicator I use for fair value gaps, and I fix it on the 1 hour fair value gap. So no matter what time frame I switch the charts to, it always shows me the 1 hour fair value gap on that chart. The default is this first box. The first box just says give me the fair value gap on whatever time frame I'm looking at. So if I switch to the 15-minute, only give me 15-minute fair value gaps. But I told it to give it to me for an hour. But on the breakers, yes, I'm doing those myself. There's probably indicators out there that will do the breaker. I don't have one, and yeah, I haven't used one before. All right, you can see the range of price getting smaller and smaller. From here all the way down to 95% back up to 60, 70% down. Another one here. And then I guess we're still technically going down, but price is getting smaller and smaller. So at some point, it's going to have to break out, and it's probably going to be here. It's either going to have to break through this trend line, or it's going to have to bounce and go higher. Lux algo breaker indicator. Okay, all right. Ms. Healthy and Martin both vouched for that one. And it's at the lower end of the trend line. So let's see if it breaks that trend line finally. We're getting close to 230, which is where I expect price to do something different, maybe break out of this. Oh, okay, that's fine too. All right, so let me get rid of this. Actually, let me wait. Let me wait for that to close below it. I don't want it to trade back inside of the range and then it just continue ranging. Okay, I think it's safe for me to get rid of this trend line now. Okay, let's let me just go and check in and see where we are on the dollar and the other indices. Okay, we still never retrace down to at least 38% or anything here for S&P. Gonna get rid of the fib just to make it cleaner. Still didn't go any deeper than 38% on Nasdaq. So we haven't really made a lot of progress this afternoon. And over here on Dow, it made it to 50% and started to trade out of it. Got hit by the bearish fair value gap above. And the only one who closed above its fair value gap was Nasdaq, which is why it doesn't have a bearish fair value gap above anymore. It's the only one that invalidated it. However, it hasn't really made that bullish push. I think the person who was talking about NVIDIA was expecting a bullish push. So that may exactly be what happens when we get to 4 o'clock as it starts running for those daily highs. But as of right now, so far, it looks like the afternoon has been pretty much sideways action and trading within a range of 75 to 80 points. Okay, we do see some sort of bearish reaction out of the dollar. Be nice to see if we can get a sweep below the 1 o'clock hour into the bullish fair value gap to close the day. If not, trade below that. Brian, sorry, I'm just now seeing your comment here. Yep, I am every day. It's essentially the New York AM session, so just before opening bell, so 9:15. 9:15, we get kicked off in the morning. Since you're subscribed, just turn on the notifications, and you'll get a note. You'll get a reminder every morning that says we're going live in 30 minutes. And then once we are live, you'll get another reminder that says we're live, so you can make sure you don't miss out and you're able to join each session that we have. Hey, let me drop this as well. And we'll get back over. I like the unicorn setup. Unicorn setup is my favorite setup. And that's for Jonathan. Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed your question you asked earlier. Sorry, Jonathan. But yeah, it's the unicorn setup. Per week? Well, you get several unicorns per day. So I don't know. I'd like to say there's at least one, maybe two every session. So 3, 4 a day. So you can get anywhere from 15 to 20 in a week. There's breaker at 210, 210, 210. Oh, here. Um, no, I wouldn't. Um, that doesn't mean that it wouldn't work out as a setup. Um, and so we're looking for a bearish breaker. Let me find one. Yes, this big blue area. So I have it marked up right here. Right. So the reason why I don't like this one that you selected at 210 is because the candle, there is no swing low. Now it's probably a swing low on a lower time frame. So maybe if we go down to the 1 or the 2 minute, this is likely a swing low at that time frame. So potentially there it was one. But in fact, this is likely the one that I took and took a loss on. Yeah, I think I did take one here. Maybe it was on the 1 minute. Yeah, it might have been these two candles or so. Not 100% sure, but it seemed like it was around that area. But I can see the flaw in that analysis now. You definitely want to have whatever you select as your breaker. You want that to be a swing point. Therefore, if price does go below your breaker, then you know that's invalidating the breaker and the setup. Yeah. So Jonathan, you wanna take those somewhere around a 1 hour. Find your PD array on the 1 hour, and you want to look for breakers around those areas because that's when price generally wants to turn around, and you're going to get a large enough move to carve your own piece of the market out. And you want to make sure price is going to move, at least 25 to 30 points, so you'll have an opportunity to get something. Yep, it is choppy. Just keep in mind today is Monday, so we're at the early part of the week. Price needs to start to either set a high or a low for the week. Also, there wasn't any high impact news today. So the volatility just wasn't there. We had the opening bell, which provided something, but outside of that, there really wasn't any um, energy injections into the market today. So just keep that in mind. Cool, calm, collected. Yeah. So we keep scroll up and you'll find the link that I sent to Ash Trades. Somebody else was asking for it. Um, yeah, Jay was asking for it earlier, so I posted the link. So scroll up to find it in the chat and then go to Ash Trades and start looking. He has a playlist on the unicorn setup. It's 8 videos, I think, and a lot of them are short, 3 minutes, 5 minute videos. So in total, all 8 videos, it'll probably take you about 40 minutes to watch. And that'll give you your solid foundation on how to execute the setup, how to see it and what it does, and some of the rules and parameters. Okay, in 5 minutes, CEO at NVIDIA. Alrighty. It really depends on it's on you. It depends on you how you want to do it. I'm Topstep trader. There's some others who prefer Apex. Apex allows you to trade more um, together. If you want to buy 5 or 10 or 20 accounts and trade them together, Apex gives you a greater option there. The rules are slightly different, so you got to figure out which rule you like better. Um, So, and a lot of people actually trade both to make sure that you don't get put all your eggs in one basket. And if a prop firm decides they want to go rogue and not follow the regulatory rules and they get sanctioned for it, at least you don't lose all of your buying power by just being with one company. So a lot of people will do both, um, but in a lot of cases they're very similar. I have in my description there are links to both, so just decide which one you feel like you may want to go with, and I have affiliate links for both of them. All right, we have the macro coming up in about 5 minutes where we could see price find some energy. A lot of cases, if it's been kind of moping around for a while, that's when we'll find something. Yep. And as Templar mentioned, the CEO of NVIDIA is going to start talking in just a couple minutes. So at 3:45, so I think around 3:50, we should be able to see what price is going to give us today. I want to see if this lunch high can get swept since we traded right almost to it and couldn't quite get there. Let's see if that area gets touched. We've been putting in higher lows, and I had the trend line up not too long ago, so everyone was able to see that, and that could also be something that price wants to go and touch, because you have stops here, you have some people stops here, and some people stops here if they're in a long. All right, NVIDIA must be on the podium. Already starting to see some candles moving. Mm-hmm. $18,284. Okay. All right, Verinder. Good luck. Like we have price doing something like this right now. We want to see it break out of this area. And I was just about to say if I had to lean one direction, I'd lean bearish, but we'll see where price goes. Let me go down to the 1 minute just so it's easier to see the price movement. Another 30 seconds and the macro begins. did trade into 50% of this price leg. Put the bodies on it, the last 4 candles, and then look at that. All right, the macro delivered that jolt of energy we've been looking for. All right, Verna, good job. Looks like you just crushed it here. Got all the way down to 247. Yep. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit and see where we're going. All right, so the lunchtime low, which we have here as the dash purple line, which is also consequent encroachment of this bullish fair value gap. Well, it's not quite the lunchtime low. The lunchtime low was taken by that. So we may actually play into it, which is down at 235. Right. But we swept this one first. We had equal lows here. We have not gotten yet, but it's coming next. Down at 244. Let's get up to 3 minutes, see if we can't get more in our screen here. All right, so we have equal lows at 244, equal lows at 235. And if the powers that be wanted to, we could get down to 18,200. Further than that, 18,180. All right, so we'll look at those levels. 235. Okay, so 244 fell. Let's look and see if 235 comes next. All right, let's get rid of these diagonals. So we can see if we get the afternoon low, which is 235. Yeah, sometimes you have to just to, like you say, satisfy the urge to push the button. All right, there's the afternoon low, falling at 235. It's also, like I said, consequent encroachment of this larger 1 hour fair value gap. Okay, let's see what's next. Like I said, 198. So we got a nice reaction here during the macro. We'll stay on past 4 o'clock. We'll go until 4:10 until the end of the macro, as well as the end of trading session for prop firms. Yes, Shark has some really good advice there, everyone. If you're up on the day, this would have been one of those where you either demoed it or you just listen. But you don't want to start bad habits, and you don't want to get into, I guess, the rhythm of being greedy. All right, we're at 18,220, 18,220. 358. So we got 12 minutes left on prop firm trading. So just make sure you have your stops where you need them to be, just in case price doesn't continue the way you want it. You're going to put TP levels up if you want to start scaling out. So 206, 198, 181. Go and make sure the dollar is still buying, because it should be, and it is. All right, so we got big bearish candles on all three indices, and we got a small bullish candle on the dollar. Nothing major, but enough to know it's bullish. Yep, and you're right about that, Shark. And a lot of times the mistakes are self-inflicted. It's just either coming from confusion, coming from greed, coming from, um, I guess, fear. All the different emotions is what leads to the mistakes. So just make sure you put in the time, because you have to battle the emotions just as much as you have to battle the charts. Out now, Veranda. All right, there we go. Keep pushing. All right, 4 o'clock. We got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes. $1,900 up for the day. All right, Verna, good job. Way to go. Put 206 here just because it's the very top edge of this retracement leg that I have marked out in orange. But the consequent encroachment of that leg is at the 199 or 198.7. Either way, I just don't know exactly how price is going to play out for the next 10 minutes. I don't want any of you to get stuck waiting for a lower level and then it doesn't arrive. So as you see levels start to fall, you want to either scale out or close your trade. 166. Yep, sure is. Yep, there's a total of 3, and there's another one down around 135 or so. All right, Shark, catch you tomorrow. That's true. You can continue trading. The rest, everyone else is done in 7 more minutes. Oh no, sorry about that, Vivian. It's all right. There's always tomorrow. We'll get them. All right, Jay, catch you tomorrow. And yeah, happy studying. Let us know how things go and if you have additional questions tomorrow morning. Thank you. Yes, definitely. Everyone on your way out the door. I know some of you are leaving now. Go ahead and hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget to do that. And for everyone who's not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you don't miss any invitations and you're always here. Yeah, I heard that's kind of where they're pushing because I mean, gaming was a big deal for them, and obviously they made a ton of money during crypto mining, which is what allowed them to sell their chips or their video cards at a premium price. First green day in 4. All right, cool, calm. Congratulations. But yeah, they were able to sell their video cards at 50% or even more over MSRP. So whenever you can do that, I mean, your profit margins run through the roof. But now that crypto mining is slowing down, they probably had to figure out another way to make sure that they were going to keep people buying their chips. And gaming market probably only has a limited group of people. So AI seems to be the next wave. Yeah, Queen, you're right about that. You got to follow the plan. Got to follow the plan. But I'm glad you learned that lesson early. So hopefully going forward, you won't have these issues. Okay, 5.5 minutes. 5.5 minutes. We're down at 218. I have levels marked at 206 and 198. So I'm not sure we're going to get there or not. So make your own decisions based on where you are and what your targets are. You see price starting to move up, go ahead and make sure your stop loss is where you want it to be. Go down to 1 minute so we can see a little better on price. Okay. Yeah, it's here. 231. See if price wants to break down further. Okay, I think it's already made it to 50%. So that's about as far as you really expect it to go. You want to see price start to push lower. Two minutes left. Okay. Last minute before prop firms close off. Yeah, you could have got about 20 points on the buy from the bottom. It would have just been, it's just really late in the game. You would have had like less than 10 minutes to realize some gains from it. MSE. There you go. There you go. Go ahead and celebrate your good day. Jonathan, not as often. No, I'm familiar with SMT, but it's not a huge part of my analysis. I just don't have the back testing experience to trade it. Yeah, Queen, on days like today when there's like some sort of earnings news or some big press conference by one of the major players, you do have an advantage over the rest of us where you're able to catch those big moves that happen after 4:15. Right, we see price trading below this liquidity sweep that I have marked here. It may even trade even lower. So just won't have a chance to do anything because it's now 10 after or more. It's 11 after. So that concludes our session this afternoon. I hope you guys found it valuable. And for all the new people, I hope you found it valuable enough to come back. So make sure that you subscribe and that you have your notifications on. One last time, I'd like to say thank you, and also make sure you hit the like button on your way out. But it was a good one. So I hope you all have a good evening and are able to do a little studying, back testing or something in anticipation for tomorrow morning session. And I'll see you at 9:15. So take care, everyone. Have a good one.